And now we are live. January 3rd, 2024. What a way to start the year off. Sorry about that, guys. Eddie just said, just message Kenny to ask if you guys ended early tonight. LOL. I don't know what the hell happened. That was all my fault. I'll take it. But,
Only for Eddie.
Hey, Happy New Year. We're back. 2024. Tons to talk about. Let's get right to the panel. Mr. Rosen.
Thanks, Kurt. Good evening, guys. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year out there, all our fans. Great to be here. First show of the year, and we're ready to get started.
Mr. Scoops. Rough week, Mr. Scoops.
Yeah, no, that was not a very memorable sports week. I don't know what the hell happened in the Arizona game. And, obviously all credit to Michigan. Congrats to Coach Harbaugh and J.J. McCarthy on that win. But, oh, my God, I'll get into what I have to say about Philadelphia because I can't use it in an opening statement.
A couple comments coming in. Eddie Murphy, he messaged about saying it was over. Jody Moncrief, and I'm going to talk about this tonight. Tom Brady, Broncos 2024 quarterback. I got a lot to talk about at 10 p.m. tonight with a special guest from Denver, and I'm going to throw it out there. And then Eddie's saying, so with the Florida State, do they still belong in the top four? Mr. Kirkpatrick.
I'll answer that.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but they did have 9 opt-outs, though, Eddie. So if they're in the playoff, those 9 kids are
all right. So they wouldn't get beat 63-3. They'd get beat 49-7.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Pretty much. So I think Georgia deserved to be there. I think they showed it, Ed. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Got a fun little agenda for the audience again. We started last week giving an audience participation, appreciation type show.
We had no audience participation.
Yeah. Kurt made us think we made a blunder last week and we lost our audience. But Good job, Kurt. Love it. But you guys keep the questions coming at us. We'll answer them in our best of our knowledge, and we'll have some fun along the way. Looking forward to a great show. And that being said, Kurt, I'm going to pass it off to Paul for our first take 2 of this first topic, unless he wants to change it up because it's open agenda. We can do whatever we want.
Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, no, we'll go ahead. Excuse me. Kurt, I'm going to ask you verbatim to repeat what you said about the
You know what? I'm so disappointed in myself because I planned on this and I was so you know what? I'm going to get back at it again. Two great games. And like I said, the first game, again, it was my brother-in-law, Paul's birthday, Jen's brother. So again, happy birthday, Paul. So we go over by Jen's parents, and I said, Jen, we got to get out of there right before the half so we can get home for the third quarter. But the game was just I didn't want to leave, so we stayed the whole thing. But listen, this loss is on Nick Saban. I'm sorry to say it. What he built that Alabama team on was running the ball and play defense. And when I watched that first half, and I just saw Alabama line them up, and here we come. And I said, Michigan's in trouble because they're back. And then all of a sudden, Tommy Rees, and he let the one-trick pony, the guy who can't throw it 10 yards, can't read who's who, all he wants to do is run. It's why I'll say it again. You take a pocket passing quarterback who's mobile over a run-first quarterback every time, 7 days a week, 10 days a week, 20 days a week. Don't ever take these running quarterbacks. They're one-trick ponies. It's what lost the game. You had a one-trick pony on one side, and you had a first-round quarterback, pocket passer, mobile, who I would love to be my Bronco quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. The Alabama guy, go let him catch punts. He's not an NFL quarterback. It's what changed it. Alabama and Nick Saban, again, he's complaining about NIL and that. I don't know why you switched. Line up, run it just like Michigan did. No little trickery here and there, but line up. We're running right down your throat. We're going to play action it. And what happens when you run it? You have guys wide open, which was what Michigan was having. Wide open because Harbaugh is so good because they run the ball. So that loss is on Nick Saban. And you know what? Go get yourself a quarterback, a pocket passer. Get these one-trick ponies. Here, Kenny, this is for you. This is for you, Kenny, because I'm wired up tonight. This is for you. Take your one-trick running quarterbacks. Gone. Get rid of them. You'll never win with them. That's my statement.
Thanks, Kurt. It's hard to follow that up, but I will say this. as Jody Moncrief certainly knows, Tommy Rees was the offensive coordinator at our favorite college, Notre Dame, and he was horrible. You know the expression addition by subtraction? Bye-bye, Tommy. I don't think there was...
But you know what, though, Paul? He
But-
wasn't in the first couple drives. Line it up and run it right down your throat. Let's go.
Right,
Why
right.
change? Why?
Right. But you know what? When it mattered, when it came time, he didn't make the calls, and that's what mattered, and that's what cost them the game. Like you said, Nick Saban probably had a chance to override him.
Yeah.
He should have. He didn't, and that's what cost them the game. Kenny?
I can't echo too much. I can echo pretty much everything Kurt said. I can't pretty much top that, except I'll just say the last two plays, I haven't seen two worse play calls in a long time than those two last plays for Alabama. I was watching it with Sis and felt sorry for Sis and felt sorry for Scoops because those are your last two play calls in an overtime
You know,
game.
can I just let me just say this? The ironic call of that is here you have a guy that's a running quarterback. The play that should have been was a rollout, giving him the option to pass the ball or run it in, and they didn't do either. They go straight up the middle.
But,
I mean,
but what could he do? See, that's the thing. He can't do anything as a quarterback. So Michigan said, "Boom, run." I said to Jen, they're just going to run blitz it. Ball game's over. Like I don't know. One trick pony.
I just think Saban, not going to say got out coached, but Saban's coordinators got out coached big time.
Yeah,
and that was the difference to me.
I agree. Scoops, the Bama fam.
Yeah. Oh, same question. Sorry, I thought you were going to say something else. I'm sorry. No, I mean, Kurt and you, Paul. I mean, that's exactly where I would have gone. He was outclassed by Harbaugh, or at least Tommy Rees and the offensive staff were. And Paul was right. I would have at the very end. That's when you played Milroe's strengths, and they run this freaking. I don't remember if it was a draw play or what it was, but a play that they were very easily able to scheme up against, and it took them nowhere. And that was just such an anticlimactic way to end the season and end the game. But again, that was where it's like Kurt always says, you win, you make your money, whether you're a quarterback, another position, a coach, whatever. You make your money by what you do in those situations. And someone like Nick Saban, who's going to go down as an all-time great college coach, that was horrendously disappointing to me. But again, the game is on far more than just him.
Kenny, real quick, let me catch up with comments, please, because a bunch of them were coming in. Eddie's saying Giants must be the best in the East because we didn't lose to the Cardinals, LOL. Then Eddie's saying, Kenny, what happened to your Miami? LOL, go Rutgers. You were on Rutgers, though, Kenny. You were.
That was one of my best bets, Eddie, was Rutgers over Miami. It was just too hard. They didn't, who did matter more? I'll just say 10 seconds. Who did matter more? And Miami going up to cold weather, New York City, or Rutgers, who's a half hour away from New York City. So it made too much sense for me that Rutgers was going to win that game and put Rutgers on the map. Hats off to Rutgers and Greg Schiano for, I would say, a successful season for Rutgers football, right?
Eddie's saying, did Harbaugh forget Brady played for Michigan, or is JJ really the best quarterback in Michigan history? Return the Belt is saying, Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I think that's Brunell or Amari. Yep. I'm not sure who it is. If it's one or the other.
And then Eddie is saying maybe Saban can convince Arch to go in the portal and transfer to Alabama. Listen, I would go get him. I would go send the plane, get on the plane, put him in the plane, and then he would have, listen, I wouldn't even recruit. I would put Arch Manning on there tomorrow over that quarterback that they had any day of the week. Any day.
All right.
Fired up tonight, guys. Let's go.
I can tell. That's great.
We got one more game that you want to probably mention here, Paul, before we
of course. Of course.
All right.
Let's talk about Texas and Washington. I'll start with Scoops. Give me your overview.
Right. So again, watching this game, which excuse me, obviously I'm not feeling as strongly about this one, but I think that this game showed that this was I personally still believe that this was the right 4 teams to finish out the season with. I think that there's a strong showing by Washington. Congratulations to them. But I think Texas came in, and like you guys were saying, Texas had at the quarterback position Ewers. I think I'm pronouncing that name correctly. And just going in with how he fared against some of the better teams they faced earlier in the season. In terms of the excuse me, I'm sorry. But they had placed one of the top schedules in the game, or in the college football, and with a pass heavy offense, which, like Kurt always says, you don't go pass heavy, particularly in college football. But they were able to make something out of it. They passed 60% to 40%. And they I think showed why they were put in with the top 4, even though some people were arguing against it.
Okay, Kenny, what do you think of the game?
Our boy, right, Paul? Michael Penix.
Yes, yes, sir.
You're not going to forget this performance. Now, the only thing I'll say is, when you have a performance like that, you got to come up with similar numbers. I'm not saying he's got to put up the same numbers, but he's got to do it now in the national championship. He's been our guy all year. He played a perfect game, closest thing to perfect you can play. Made deep throws, made outside throws, ran when it was necessary. Necessary, right, Kurt? Not all the time. Necessary.
Right, necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But no, hats off to Washington. Got very scary at the end, and Caleb DeBoer, I think that's the coach's name. He got off the hook, because if Texas would have won this game, he might be out. Because how do you go and take that chance of a player getting hurt? You can't trust your defense to 80 yards. They needed 80 yards pretty much in 10 seconds is what they would have had. You can't trust your defense to hold a team for 10 seconds. They almost lost that game because he gave Texas 45 more seconds in that game. And we all saw it came down to a great play at the end to not lose that game. And that would have been heartbreaking for me and a lot of Washington fans, Paul included. We're not Washington fans, but we would have been heartbroken for Michael Penix, who won that game, hands down, took that team on his shoulders. So should be a great championship game. Take nothing away from Texas. Quinn Ewers played good, but Washington was a little better, Kurt.
Yep. Kurt?
A couple of comments. Eddie saying, I caught myself watching a lot of college football this weekend. My wife kept saying, this isn't the NFL. What the F is this? Blank. Eddie, hey, but your wife don't know. You keep watching our show. Next year, you're going to be into college football. You're going to have it every week next week. Then he's saying, I said college football is more fun to watch these days. Our good friend Trevor Salzman saying Michael Penix Jr. next Bronco coach. Eddie's saying, give me old man Bo Nix and Giants blue. I'm going to make you really laugh. We talk about Nick Saban, hats off to Washington and hats off to Penix. Unbelievable job in that. But you talk about, I don't know who should wear the dunce hat, Saban or what's the Texas coach's name? Sarkisian, yeah. Sarkisian. You watching the first quarter of the game, and Texas was running the ball, right? So when they're running the ball, what are the people called with the Bulls? What are they, the Matador? Are they the Matador? What is that called? The guys that hold the thing for the ball?
Matadors.
They were like the Washington's defense was like the Matadors. Like they handed it off like this. The guys didn't get touched for 12 yards. What's Texas doing? Throwing it. I'm yelling in the car. Jen, what are they doing? I had to cash out of a bet. I swear to God, I did. I said, I'm cashing out. What are they doing? I said, he's getting 14 yards. Why are they throwing it? Washington's like in the huddle. Don't run it. Don't run it. Don't run it. Throw it. Now you're getting a shootout with this team.
Exactly.
They should have ran it 50 times.
Yep.
They would have had 300 yards. What a disgrace by Texas. Then Washington almost blew the game. It's not going to matter. Michigan's going to beat them. But hats off to Washington. But Texas, that's disgraceful. Another offensive. What are you doing? Run the ball. Seriously, run the ball. Matador D. They were holding it.
Matador.
Don't run it. Don't run it. Don't run it.
He's on fire tonight.
Come on.
Hey, Kurt, how many Red Bulls have you had already?
I was going to say,
I can't drink Red Bull.
I'm just kidding. All right, let's go to the obviously $50 million question. Who's gonna win? What's your predictions, guys? Let's start with. I'm gonna save Kurt for last. Let me go first. All right. I think let's put it this way. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I'm almost going to guarantee it and maybe throw a little Joey Clams pizza money that the game will be better and closer than last year's championship game. Anyway, I think it's going to be a close game. I think if you look at Michigan, their offensive and defensive lines, I think will dominate Washington. You look at the two quarterbacks, I think it's basically even. It's going to come down to, I think, where the Michigan is going to try and run the ball as much as possible, and like Kurt keeps saying, set up the pass. I think it's going to be a close game. I know the spread, I think, went up from 3.5 to 4.5, but Kenny and I have been on Michigan on Washington's back the whole year. Our boy Michael Penix Jr. So I'm going to predict Washington on a last-second field goal by that kid who they gave a scholarship to. He was a walk-on, 30-27, last-second field goal.
Kenny, quick, let me get a comment in from our good friend Keith Brugman, Denver Bronco Roundup. Good evening and Happy New Year to the amazing K&K Sports Show. He's saying Washington shocks them all. 31-24 Huskies. And he's saying, I liked how these top NFL quarterback prospects played, how you see a lot of quarterbacks didn't play because they want to get ready for the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Good point. All right. Scoops, let's go to you. What's your prediction?
Yeah, I got to go with Michigan here. I think that they, the line last I saw was about 4.5. But if you're talking just outright, I don't see a hole on the Michigan defense. Whether it's their linebackers, Barrett's fantastic, going as far back as even a couple of their, if you want to say their lowest players are still top quarter in all of college football. I'm not seeing really a weakness there that Washington can exploit, and Michigan is going to be the home team. So I'm gonna have to go with the Wolverines here to win it all.
Okay, nice, Kenny.
Been my underdog story all year. Kurt will remember this. Years ago, Kurt, we used to mess around a little bit here and there, put some small wagers on. Right, I wrote a team, Northwestern, that one year.
Yep.
They shocked everybody that year, every week, right? Well, this Washington team has been my underdog team all year. Underdogs twice to Oregon, beat them twice, beat USC. Now they beat Alabama. Now they're going to go and face Michigan. And I'm going with Washington, not because I'm the Penix guy. I just really believe they got something special going there. Now, I am concerned about the running back. I think he may be out. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Got to see what the story is with him, but I'm going to go odd score here. I'm going to go 33-31, and Washington and Penix gets it. And Paul, when you're done with your thing, I got a rapid fire, since it's open agenda, I got a rapid fire question that'll be a continuation of this national championship right here.
And then I have one more question after Kurt's going to finish.
Yep.
I've just seen this movie too many times. Better run game, better defense. It's they're gonna we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Listen, when Michigan's gonna line up, there's gonna be no secrets. They're gonna line up double tight end, 3 tight ends, 2 fullbacks, and just punch them straight in the mouth. And you know what? There's no worse feeling in the world when you're, Kenny, you can, as a coach or as a player, when you can't stop a run game, you're powerless. And you just ask Coach Breslin, our good friend, Coach Breslin, and you just sit there and you're just like, here we go. And Michigan's going to do it. They're going to line up. They're going to just punch them right in the mouth. Washington's not going to have an answer. And here comes the defense. And here comes the blitzing. They're going to shut down that whatever run game Washington tries. And here they come. And that's going to be the end of it. I think this is going to be a 17 more touch. Washington's not going to stop them. They're not. They're going to eat up the clock, big chunk plays. And now, okay, here we have to bring number 8 and number 9 in the box. And here comes, there's nobody better than Harbaugh and JJ McCarthy drawing it up. And I don't know. I don't like this matchup. I really don't. I think the Texas is more physical. It's just Texas was dumb. Their approach was dumb on how they tried to play them. Michigan's not going to be dumb. They're going to line up and run right down their throat.
Kurt, I got breaking news. I got to put this comment up. Go ahead, read it.
From who?
It's up on the screen.
Oh, Carson, our good friend Carson. Hey, guys, watching in the middle of the ocean. Have a great show. Lions got screwed.
Absolutely.
Carson, enjoy your vacation, my friend.
Yeah. Enjoy it, buddy.
Absolutely, Carson.
Carson, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Listen, take yourself right now in the ocean, lay back, because it's going to be even better when you win the first game and then you go to Dallas and beat them again there. And Dak's looking up at the scoreboard like this, like, what did I do? I just threw my third pick in the playoff game. What did I do?
Yeah, right.
And people are going to blame Mike McCarthy. Well, you ever see when he throws the pick, he looked at the screen like, no, Dak, you're supposed to throw it there, Dak. Oh, okay. But a couple other comments. Eddie saying in college. Oh, wait, hold on, one question. But let me just get to these comments real quick. Eddie, if Penix plays like he did Monday, I think it'll be a shootout, 45-42 Washington. Then he's saying in college, though, seems like every first, second, third string position are good. Keith, question for Kurt. Rumor is that the Bears will be asking for a second and third round for Justin Fields. Is that an option? No, we don't want that one trick pony. He couldn't coach Russell Wilson. He's going to throw this guy. You think Russell Wilson can't read a defense? Are you this guy? I wouldn't give a 7th round pick for him. No,
guys, I think
no.
Paul, you got one more you said? Because I definitely got to go next because Kurt's on fire.
Why are the Bears trading their franchise quarterback? They told me if you trade him, something's wrong with him, right?
I gotta do this next. I was gonna save it for later, but I got
no.
Next.
All right. My last question pertaining to Coach Harbaugh. Is this going to be his last game at Michigan? And if it is he going to go to the NFL? And which team do you think he will go to? Let's start with Kurt.
Yes, he's done. He's absolutely done. And I pray, and I'm going to talk about this at 10 o'clock tonight. I pray because we can't get him. We can't let him go to the Raiders, and we can't let him go to the Chargers because you put him with Herbert, and they'll run the ball 40 times a game. That's a problem for us. Greg Penner, I know I don't ask for much, but he was your first choice, Greg. He was your first choice last year, and it was either you or going back to Michigan. And you know what? You almost had him, but he went back to Michigan. You understand why. But, Greg, you got money. I'm going to do it one more time for Kenny. You got money, baby. Throw it away. Go get Jim Harbaugh. Go get him. Now you pair him with Rush. You draft McCarthy. You run it. You play defense. He's a top 2 or 3 NFL quarterback the day he walks back in. So pray to God, Penner. Do the right thing.
All right. Scoops.
I'm not saying he's wrong, but Kurt calling him a one-trick pony and then say run it and play defense like 37 times is hilarious. No, I think he's done in college, and I'm not saying this just because of what Kurt just said, but I do think that the Raiders or the Chargers are the team that he would go to, and I would have to probably guess it's the Chargers of the two, just because I think that LA and the better quarterback are going to be a bigger draw.
Okay, Kenny.
Nope, you guys are all wrong. He's going to go to the Chicago Bears. He played for the Bears. They got the number 1 pick and another pick. He gets Marvin Harrison in this draft, and he trades down and gets more draft picks, and he still gets his guy J.J. McCarthy to go over to Chicago and take over the team. Maybe behind Fields this year, they find a sucker to take Justin Fields. Hopefully, it's not your Broncos. But because I'm on board with you with Justin Fields.
But you know what? I'm going to disagree with Keith on this one. Keith is saying Harbaugh is a college coach. He tried the NFL and gave up. Plus, the Broncos couldn't pay him enough to coach the first time. See, I disagree with that because I think the Broncos intrigued him. I think the problem is, like, he knew when he went to Michigan, he was that close to getting what, listen, he's immortal I mean, he's got him to 3 playoff games in a row. If he goes to Michigan, his alma mater, and he wins a national title, and he's that close to doing it, I just think last year wasn't the year. And Penner with money, I mean, that's like what's the guy got $300,000 got fined? The guy from Carolina. I mean, it's like a quarter to
No,
me.
isn't that Tepper?
Tepper, yeah.
Pepper. Like, come on, Penner, just write the check, whatever you want. With $30 million, give him the check. He's the top 3 coach in football. I don't care what anybody says. Everywhere he goes, there are issues, and he makes them champions. Everywhere he goes, this guy.
Yeah, Kurt, I agree with you. I wasn't sure who you were mentioning, but that was my idea. Tepper, I think, if he wins the championship, he goes in there and says, "Just give me a blank check because that's how much I'm gonna want." And I think Tepper is so after his last 2 disasters, I think he's gonna say, "Yeah, just give me a figure and I will give you that to you."
Everybody saying they can't beat Ohio State. Listen to me. Not only is he beating Ohio State, he has Ryan Day's job on the line now because he's dominating Ohio State. He's unbelievable. He goes to the 49ers. He goes to Stanford. Wherever he goes, this guy turns them into champions, man. I mean, he's the best.
All right. Thank you, guys. Kenny, you want to be up next?
Kurt's
Kenny,
on fire
can I
tonight.
get some comments?
Get to the comments because I'm going to change it. I'm going to go to mine and get mine out of the way because I got to do it now.
Carson saying, haha, you love you all. Damn right, Kurt. Eddie saying Bear fans were chanting, we want Fields.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy saying Chargers for Harbaugh. Eddie saying, how much coffee did you drink before the show? I don't drink any coffee. That's
What?
Eddie saying Bears already said they're keeping the coach. Eddie saying Giants could be that sucker, Kenny.
If they are, Eddie, I gotta live with it, right?
And then Keith saying Harbaugh finally won his first college football playoff game this year.
All right, guys. So I'm going next. I gotta go next. So we all know we have a separate chat in our group here, and we all know out of all of us, Scoops fires Kurt up the most a lot of times. And sometimes I'll wake up to 84 text messages from these two. And that's no exaggeration when Kurt gets going. And we're seeing this live on the show tonight, Kurt getting wound up. So this is usually
and not at school. I'm not at
It's
school.
not at me.
and not at Scoops.
No.
So
No.
what better way? I came up with a question, and we got word of that the Crayola Crayon Company is going to endorse a 50 Shades of Red line of all the shades of red Kurt Valenti's face has been through all these topics. So, guys, throw some names out there. They're looking for some names, and got the wrong one up there, but there's the 50 Shades of Red right there. Can't. So, a couple that are on here already, but we need some more because we got to get to that 64 color mark. So 50 Shades of Red. I'm sorry. So we got to get to the 50, but we got some teams on there. We got the Arizona Cardinals red. They just beat the Eagles. Got Kurt's face all red and fired up. We got the Crimson Tide red from the college colors. And then we got the Pat Mahomes washed up red. We got the tight end in love red. And then over to the K&K side, we got the defense doesn't win championships red, defense wins championships, running quarterbacks don't Scoops red.
Yeah.
We got and one more we got is Aaron Judge. The Aaron Judge red. And anything else you guys want to throw out there. So please, we need 50 guys, and I'll think of some more off the top of my head to throw to Crayola, but Crayola's looking for some red colors to name after Kurt in the show. So, Kurt, Paul, you got any off the top of your head?
Yeah. We have the Kurt analytics in baseball and all sports red.
That's a great one. That's a great one.
And don't forget the Matador, right? You just said Matador.
Oh, that
was they showed a bull, the red.
Yeah, that was
The Washington Matador defense.
Using a red cape, no less.
And Kurt, please, I know you got to have a couple before maybe Scoops can name a couple too.
Oh, I've got a couple. Don't worry.
Go ahead, Kurt. You got to have one or two off the top of your head.
I'll just fly like a coach like what's that? Oh my God, I can't think of his name. Lincoln Riley, like guy that just don't care about defense and just I mean, can I call it like the fraud red color? Something like that?
Perfect.
A fraudulent red,
Mm.
where like everybody says, I want Lincoln Riley, but he's poison to you. He's poison. Don't worry. We'll put up 50, like Mike D'Antoni. We'll put up, we always say, Mike D'Antoni, hey, what's the problem? You guys lost 152 to 150. What happened? We didn't score 154. I mean, if we scored 4 more, we would have won the game. What about the defense? Well, no, it was our 3-point shooting. What about the defense, coach? No, it was okay. We played pretty good. You get 150 points. So fraudulent red, that's what I'm going to call it.
And I got one more. Even though the Broncos are orange, we got a Bronco red. Sean Payton benching Russ. We better put up 30 points with Stidham red. Cardinals beat Eagles red from Eddie. Go ahead, Scoops. Let's get some reds out. We'll finish this off real quick.
All right. Well, y'all will remember this from last year. How about the Cherry Holly Jolly Rancher red?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes. That's for the
good.
That's for the fans that are like, nothing to see here. You ever see what's the movie with oh my God, what's the movie? Leslie Nielsen?
I have no clue who that is.
Naked Gun.
Naked Gun, when it's fired. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. That's you're right. Holly Jolly Red. Oh, we're fine. We're fine. We just got out coached. We're fine. Yeah. Holly Jolly Red.
Got any more scoops, or are we gonna wrap it up?
That was the main one that I was waiting
awesome.
on.
Kurt, thank you.
I like
being a good
Kenny.
sport with the 50
50
Shades of Red. That was my little our comedy towards the
Eddie
show.
saying,
Great category, Kenny.
Great category. Eddie's saying, oh, yeah, speaking of your chat, thanks for getting me a parlay, Kenny. Kurt ended up hooking me up with a parlay, LOL. Then Eddie's saying, Cardinals beat Eagles red.
Kurt, you know what? You were a good sport. I'll pass it off to you next for your topic. You want to talk NFL? You want to do something else?
Well, I mean, am I allowed to talk Knicks, or I can't talk Knicks yet? Or
we
you
can
don't
do
want to
Knicks.
over?
Yeah, we could do Knicks, and then we got. Let's
Or
not
would
forget
you
about
rather
NFL.
or would you rather hold off to the
No, we got time because we could probably go through the second time tonight because mine was fast. So
I'm just looking real quick.
Surprise disappointment.
Let's do surprise disappointment. Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that.
All right, that works.
In
honor, since Carson's not here, we like to keep his segment going.
Yeah, we'll do his Carson.
And then your second round we'll do Knicks because I think we'll have time to go second round.
All right, so let's start with Scoops. Give me your surprise. NFL.
Okay. I'm not surprised that they won, but surprised that they won by 37. Yes, got to be the Baltimore Ravens. They just absolutely manhandled the Miami Dolphins, and a coach that I absolutely love, regardless of the fact that Kenny says I look like him. I think that this is just another level on the Baltimore Ravens that I was not expecting to see. I thought this game was going to be a lot more competitive, and it just wasn't. I mean, I think Lamar Jackson has all but wrapped up the MVP conversation at this point. And Coach Harbaugh, and I'll say this: the two things that I love to see in that game, one, it was during the game. So Tua is obviously a left-handed quarterback, and there was a play where Jackson dropped back, looked like he was going to throw it left-handed, threw it the other way, so he moved the defender off. I just thought that was a really smart play. And fun to watch. And then there was in the locker room after, I don't know if y'all saw this, but he was like bleeding and he like wiped it across his forehead. And the players called him like War Daddy or something like that. But the Baltimore Ravens are my surprise just because, again, they are absolutely dominating and did so again. And I mean, was I going to say anything else about a disappointment? What the hell happened to that Philadelphia-Arizona game? That was about as painful as I can remember a game being. They were running away with it pretty well, and then it was, I don't know what happened defensively. I don't know if they got complacent. I don't know if the guys went in and had mimosas too early. I don't know what happened, but it was just lackadaisical. It looked like everybody had taken the gas off. They couldn't tackle, which was ridiculous. I saw one guy that I'd never heard of on Arizona break like 5 tackles on one play. Incredibly painful, and makes me very, very curious what's going to happen going forward, not only on the field, but for this coaching staff if they don't go far in the playoffs.
I'm going to stay with you, Scoops, real quick, because you mentioned Miami. Jody's asking, is McDaniels dumb for having Chubb in down 30 points?
I don't think it's dumb necessarily. Again, I'm not 100% sure because obviously he's got the injury history. Again, I don't know exactly where his health was in that situation, but I don't. Again, I reluctant to say dumb or not because I don't know, but I think that's probably, if you're going to take a risk, it's, I guess, in my mind, I'm comfortable taking risks like that if you've got that much of a game, or that much of a lead rather. But on the other hand, I can see people say, why risk it if you're up that much or down that much?
Thank you, Scoops. Let's go to Mr. Rosen. Your surprise.
All right. I could easily say the Cardinals, but that's low-hanging fruit, and you guys can possibly talk about them. But I'm going to go out west. Steelers. They went out to Seattle. Seattle fighting for a playoff spot. Obviously, it's so difficult playing out there. And with all the rumors about Mike Tomlin, all the problems with the quarterbacks playing basically their third string quarterback, and they wind up beating Seattle out in Seattle. It's a great testament to the team, to the organization, and the fact that they were able to beat Seattle, who obviously is also fighting for a playoff spot, was a surprise to me. So they're my choice as surprise team of the week.
And your disappointment?
Is there a question? The EAGLES, Dirty Birds. I mean, you're fighting for the division title. You have 3 games, of course, including 2 against my Giants, and you have a Cardinal team that seems like they can only beat teams like Dallas and the Eagles. And yet, at home, in the Link, with the title of the division on the line, what do? You literally take the bird and you let the Eagles, you let the Cardinals march downfield for another last-second drive. Scoops, how's that Matt Patricia move to defensive coordinator going for you?
Well,
anyway,
I'm sorry.
It was a rhetorical question. We know how it's going.
Yeah.
The bottom line is they are my disappointing, and I think every Eagle fan should be ashamed of themselves that they had an opportunity to really finish this division, and I think Dallas just grabbed it, and I'd be shocked if the Cowboys lose this game on Sunday against the Commanders.
Kenny, I'm going to go next real quick because I'm going to echo exactly what Paul said. I'm going to go Steelers. The Broncos needed help. Again, they should have never needed help because you don't lose to the Patriots on Christmas Eve at home with disgrace. But they needed the Steelers to lose to Seattle. So I was like, okay, we're going to get this. Again, you put your any kind of expectations into Geno Smith, but Pete Carroll, stop chomping your gum and get a defense because you made Mason Rudolph look like Ben Roethlisberger. What a disgrace for you guys. But hey, shout out to Pittsburgh. Shout out to Mike Tomlin. The kid Warren is a fantastic back, man. He's a great back to go with. Najee is finally, your boy Scoops is finally coming along, running the ball, opening it up. And disappointment, I mean, I could talk a 2-hour show here. Just, you guys laughed when I said 2 weeks ago with the Eagles coach and he's jumping, he's doing this. Coach, man, you listen, that is, and who's their offensive coordinator? I would have him in handcuffs.
Brian Johnson, and a lot of people, including myself, have been calling for him to be out since like midseason.
Yes, you are a run first team. Run first. That's what you are built on. That's how you got to a Super Bowl. First off, stop with the MVP of Jalen Hurts. He's not an MVP. He's not a top quarterback. Stop it. We don't showcase him. Line up and run the ball. You have a great offensive line. You got good backs. Hurts can run, and then you go play action. And then that's what your defense. Now you're just throwing like the wild, wild west. Your defense can't stop anything, and it's because your coaching staff and your offense. Line up in the postseason and run it 40 times. That's how you built. So major disappointment there. Kenny.
You guys nailed it with the surprises. I mean, Ravens, Steelers. So I got a third one I'll put down. They weren't my top choice, but I'm going to put them down because nobody mentioned them. Packers. I know the Vikings started a rookie quarterback Sunday night, but you know what? The Vikings were home. And Brian Flores, defensive genius, right? Defensive genius. He's going to be a head coach next year. Not for me. Not for me. That's the performance you put up on Sunday Night Football. You know you got a rookie quarterback, so your defense needs to step up. No, thank you. Packers would be my surprise, and they still got a good chance of getting into the playoffs now.
Who fired him, Kenny, that everybody complained?
Miami.
All right, well, who's that owner?
Stephen Ross.
Great job, Stephen Ross. Great decision.
Stephen Ross is not.
Get out of here.
Hey, that would be my surprise and disappointment. The guy right there on the screen, Nick Sirianni and the Eagles. Matt Patricia, like you said it, Kurt made the move, and I'm not bashing your Scoops. I'm not doing that, but
I know.
They have to.
Yes, you are.
Okay, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
I don't care.
Maybe a little bit. I'm joking. But like Kurt said, Matt Patricia, you don't make that move. They're running out of excuses now, and now the fans. I'm not saying you, Scoops, but the fans are turning on everybody.
Yep.
You did turn on Hurts earlier in the season.
I criticize Hurts as not turning on Hurts. Criticizing him is different.
Everybody's turning on Sirianni now. It's all coming down.
Yep.
Okay. Fly Eagles Fly is turning into Cry Eagles Cry, and we're seeing it firsthand. So
yep.
Easily
you guys are
disappointed
joking
right
around,
there.
Kenny. He don't get to like an NFC Championship game. I'm firing him. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not going through this garbage show with him again.
Well, why don't we segue? Why don't we let Scoops do his first question about Sirianni since we're doing this? When we finish surprise disappointment, it'll segue right into a good topic if you want to do it, Scoops.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so let's finish this one off, Kurt, and then we'll segue into Scoops's.
Kenny, real
topic.
quick, Eddie's saying Eagles coach being a clown on the sideline is coming back to bite him in the you know what. He's right. That Eddie's exactly right, Kenny. Exactly right.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. You got to be professional sometimes. Most of the time, you got to be professional.
He's been outcoached every week.
Yep. All right, Kurt, back to you. That's my disappointment. One more disappointment I would throw out there is the Dolphins. I mean, that would be my other one.
Yeah, again, listen, we've talked about this. The Dolphins are, again, we talk a one-trick pony. That you put that team on the road, they're not beating anybody. Seriously, they're not. He's another guy, Mike McDaniels, and he's this and like, come on, like get out of here.
With his pants up to his
he's
ankles.
Right.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Let's see if he does that. Let's see if he does that.
Offense on Sunday, right? You know what? He went up against a good defense. He went up against a good defense, and what happens with that spread offense versus a good defense? You get punched in the mouth, and he ran away. Get out of here.
That's good, Kurt.
They might lose. They might lose on Sunday night. Seriously, they might.
Oh, if we go to that game, you're going to hear it from me.
Yeah. Why don't we do that? Well, we do Sirianni, and then we'll do that. I'll go back to Paul, and if he wants to do that, he can do that.
Yeah.
Because we got time. We'll do two. We'll try and do we'll do Scoops' topic, and then our second round we'll do our topics a little faster.
Guys, I'm wired up tonight. I don't know why.
Maybe
the Broncos show, Kenny.
I couldn't tell that, Kurt.
Let's pass off to Scoops, Kurt, because he's going to get us even more fired up because it has to do with his Eagles. So let's go.
Kurt masks it so well. But I was for those of y'all who didn't see it, there's a report that came out a couple days ago, or a few reports that came out from the Inquirer from different people. There's reports of locker room dysfunction and turmoil. AJ Brown came out and basically said, that Sirianni's been taking the fall for us. It's on us, like the players and such. But basically what you've been seeing is, and I think it was Kurt who mentioned it. No, I think it was Kenny who mentioned it. Basically, people are turning on everyone from Hurts to Sirianni to Johnson to Patricia. Well, I think Patricia, that's, fruit hanging so low I can kick it. But I just looking at a report that came out a couple days ago, and I sent it to y'all. There was it came out, I think it was from ESPN, and it said that there's a team in the NFC East, so I assume it's not Washington because that's pretty much well known, that is strongly considering changes on the coaching staff if the season doesn't end well. So my guess is, or my question is, if that is Nick, or if that is, Nick Sirianni, or referring to the Eagles in any way, are you cleaning house? Are you just moving off of coordinators? Are you going, Sirianni and trying to rebuild the staff? Like, what do you think has to be done on the coaching staff, or do you think it's not the coaching staff at all? And I'll give a couple names after the fact in terms of guys that I would look at. But Kenny, from the report, do you think that it's referring to the Eagles, and do you think that they should, move off the assistants or the whole staff?
I'm about 80% sure it's the Eagles. The other 20% could be the Cowboys. But both of those teams end off in bad terms. You could see moves, but this is about the Eagles. So, yes, I would clean house if it doesn't end well in Philly. And you got to bring one guy over, and he's going to want to go to a team that's got a chance to go to the Super Bowl. It's Bill Belichick. And he brings in whoever he wants. As much as it would be a disaster to see him go to the Cowboys, it'd be even worse for our Giant fans to see him go to the Eagles. But yeah, I mean, that guy's out there. You go get him. If things end out terribly in Philadelphia, would you rather have Bill Belichick and then you bring over Josh McDaniels as your offensive coordinator, and now you got things going again in Philadelphia?
Oh God, no. As someone who mistakenly wanted McDaniels as our head coach a few years ago, please no. But
coordinator, nowhere near head coach, but coordinator under Belichick is good. So it's Belichick, and then he brings in whoever he wants as his staff.
Fair enough. Poole.
Yeah, this is going to surprise you. I'm going to say no, because I think the coordinators are going to fall on the petard of the coaches that are going to be changed, unfortunately, because the defense obviously is shambles. The offense has been in shambles, if not the whole season, most of the season. So I think Howie Roseman is going to spare and Jeffrey, what's his name? Jeff Lurie will spare Sirianni, but he'll go to them and they'll tell him, you got to change your coordinators. So I think that will happen. But what pisses me off, and now I'm going to get hot, is the report about this BS of sitting players against the Giants when they still have an opportunity to win the division. Both the Giants game and the Cowboy game are at the same time. Hey, do I expect the Cowboys to lose to the Commanders? Absolutely not. But as we've seen recently, Cardinals and Eagles, anything can happen. And the idea that they're going to sit players because they're in the playoffs already is so ridiculous in my opinion. In 2007, New England came in undefeated. The Giants had gotten into the playoffs the week before, and the press was asking Coach Coughlin, what are you guys going to do? You're going to rest Eli? You're going to do this? You're going to do that? And he said, absolutely not. We're playing every single player. Nobody's resting. We're facing the New England undefeated champions, and we're going to give them the best. And quite frankly, they had a lead on New England. New England came back, won the game, were undefeated. But that game, in my opinion, set them up to play them in the Super Bowl, and they wound up, as we all know, winning the Super Bowl and upsetting New England. So the idea that Sirianni is coming out and saying, oh, we're going to rest this one, hey, you know what? What did Herman Edwards say? You play to win the game and see what happens with Dallas, but at least you've given your all.
Yeah, I don't really disagree with any of that. By the way, Eddie Murphy's asking what's Eagles head coach specialty, offense or defense. He was the offensive coordinator with the Indianapolis Colts, Eddie, and he also has been with the Chargers as well as an offensive assistant. And Kurt, if your blood pressure has come down since the last one.
Listen, I'm going to say a couple of things. I'll get to some comments, but there's a lot of problems here. Number one, and I've said this and you guys laughed at me, people talk about like Russell Wilson. You got to pay Jalen Hurts $60 million. I mean, they should have never given him that money. He's an above average quarterback. That's number one. And now we have to show, listen, garbage contract. Absolutely nowhere near. He's not worth half that money. That's number one. That's problem. Number two, it's coaching staff. All right. And why, like I said, you are a run first team. That's what you built yourself on last year. It's why you got to a Super Bowl. It's why you almost won a Super Bowl. Your defense and your running game. What changed? Why did it change? This guy is a clown show, this head coach. Clown show. Like Eddie's saying, his antics, whatever. He gets out coached week after week after week. I just give him a straight up ultimatum. If you are not at least in an NFC championship game, and I'm going to think about it, how you play in that game, okay, you're gone. You're gone, because I have a small window. And already the Niners are better. The probably Lions are better. You're going to get other teams. The Rams might be. I have a small window to win a championship. I'm not playing with this clown show. I'm not doing it. So NFC championship game at the smallest, or he's gone. But something's got to go. The quarterback's a problem. He's a problem on the field, off the field, the attitude. Again, you give somebody like him money who don't deserve that money. He thinks he's, when he was, hey, you're a second round quarterback, minimum, whatever you're making. Now we don't work anymore. We don't, whatever. It's a problem. Major problem.
I'm not sure what that last part's referring to, but
the last part is he worked when he was a second round pick. He did all the small things to make him to say, okay, hey, I'm struggling to be a starter in the league, right? When you guys lost to Tampa Bay in that playoff game,
right,
there was a lot of questions of, is he the guy? Should you go out?
Right.
Now all of a sudden I'm Jalen Hurts, I'm this, no, you're not. No, you're not. You should have never gotten that contract. You shouldn't. You're not a top quarterback in the league. You're not an MVP candidate in the league. You shouldn't. We're putting up these stats. You're a run first team. I'll make plays off the play action. That's what you are. Do your job. We'll give you your $30 million, but you're not getting $60 million. Absolutely not. He's nowhere near the top quarterback in football. It's a joke.
Hey, Scoops, can I just interject before you go to Kenny?
Yeah.
If they get rid of Sirianni, will that be the ultimate tush push by them to get him out?
Oh my God. That was good. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of back page articles about that and using that, but that was good.
Paul, let me ask you this one real quick, Scoops. I'm sorry.
What's up?
Honest question. You
Yeah.
give Daniel Jones those weapons and that O-line. How are the Eagles looking? Paul, I'm going to go to Giant guys on this one. Paul, what do you think?
If Daniel Jones is with those weapons and that offensive line,
yeah.
If they don't first of all, they're going to make the playoffs. Second of all, they're going to get, I would say, at least to the championship game.
Okay. Kenny, your thoughts on
sorry.
that?
Yeah, similar to Paul, I could see them going deep in the playoffs. I think Jalen Hurts is better than Daniel Jones, but so I don't know if we would get to the Super Bowl. But
Okay.
We'd make a deep run.
Joey Clem, smart by Eagles. They had tough 7 games, need the rest. I don't believe in that.
I don't either.
Not
I don't
when you're
either
losing
now,
like
because
that.
anything can happen. What happens if Dak Prescott goes down first play of the game?
Right.
Washington or Washington just miraculously, new coach, and they let go of Rivera. We all saw the Chargers almost beat Buffalo, right? 2 weeks ago. Chargers almost beat Buffalo.
Look at New England. New England beat the Broncos. Who expected that?
Right. And you know what? Just watch.
Cardinals beat the Eagles. Who expected that? It happened.
Right.
And you know what?
To sit players is a cop-out. It's a cop-out.
If the Cowboys are up 21-3, now I could pull guys out. But
and you know what? But you know what? Well, you know what? To answer Scoop's question about firing Sirianni, let's hypothetically speak, and it's a long shot. Dallas beats Washington, and then the Eagles go and beat Dallas loses to Washington, and then the Giants beat the Eagles because of all the backups being in.
Yeah.
This guy gets fired on the spot. I'm sorry, because now you're going on the road when you could have been home as the 2 seed.
Yep.
Well, just real quick, Eddie said, I think Eagles need to use Giants game as a statement game. They almost lost to him last week. Then I 100% agree with Eddie there. But I agree with kind of what I would say is like a merge of the Paul and Kurt. I'm not normally an advocate for firing a coach less than a year after he gets to a Super Bowl, but this has just been an unmitigated disaster the last few weeks. And I think at bare minimum, if I'm Lurie or Roseman and we don't get, like Kurt said, to at least a championship game, I'm, calling in Sirianni and saying, if you want to come back next year, you're revamping your whole, at least your offensive coach, or I'm sorry, at least your coordinators, and probably beyond that. And like you said, and whether it's bringing in Belichick, I would like that more as a D coordinator. But I think that there's a strong argument to be made just with how badly it's gone the last few weeks. I would more look at wiping the offense or the assistants more so than the head coach. But if it gets bad enough, I don't think you can rule out anything. I mean, this is a team that let go of a Super Bowl winning coach in Doug Peterson within 3 years of winning a title. So they're not going to F around with letting go of somebody if they think that they need to make a change.
Wait, Kurt and Paul, I got to get fired up now because you got fired up, Paul. Kurt, you definitely got fired up. Yeah. Now I got to come after Scoops.
Go ahead, Kenny.
I know what it's going to be about, so go ahead.
Bill Belichick as a defensive
coordinator.
Yeah, clown.
I knew it was going to
clown. Wait,
I knew. No.
I'm glad you said that, Kenny.
No, not Belichick $50 million. He's not going to come in as a defensive coordinator.
No, not under Sirianni. I'm saying if they revamp the staff and
Vince Lombardi came back from the graves, he wouldn't be a D coordinator. Vince Lombardi, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Kurt, Paul, go ahead, take it. I can't.
Yeah. No,
I don't even, Paul. I don't even ask Nick Sirianni if I'm Jeff Lurie. Hey, you coming? I'm just telling him. Listen, I'm cleaning his locker out.
Right.
There's no way.
I know. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That
was good. Got me fired up too.
Yeah.
That was good. All right, guys. So why don't we do a rapid fire topic to wrap the show up? We started a few minutes late, so we'll do a rapid fire topic.
Real quick, Kenny. Jody's saying, would you trade for Sean Payton?
Hell no.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Well, I don't know. He can't. I guess Sean Payton couldn't coach Jalen Hurts, right? Because I guess he's a pocket passer. But seriously, would you trade for Sean Payton?
Yeah, we'll get Payton. You can have Sirianni.
No.
Even up.
I'd install Peyton Manning as the coach before I'd install Sean Payton.
Okay.
Why don't we do a rapid fire topic to wrap the show up, guys? I'll let Paul do the game that he wanted to discuss, but I got a would you rather topic for everybody.
Well, that's always fun.
Okay.
All right. And this is going to be headed into the 2024 season. Okay. Start with this one. Paul, I'll do our Giants and Jets. Paul, I'll start with Paul. Would you rather be the Giants or the Jets heading into 2024 preseason?
As much as it pains me, kills me, hurts me to say, I'd rather be the Jets. I mean, if you look at the two teams, what can you say? We go into next year. We don't know who the hell our quarterback's going to be. We don't know if our offensive coordinator is going to be back. We don't know if our defensive coordinator is going to be back. I'm not saying that Robert Saleh is Vince Lombardi reincarnated, but the Jets have a great defense. I would imagine Aaron Rodgers will come back healthy. They have skilled players. They have a great, and I wouldn't say great defense, but a very good defense. There's so many question marks about the Giants moving forward in terms of what they will look like in 2024. The pressure will be tremendous on Dable and Joe Shane to make this right in their third year. So I'm going to say the Jets.
It's got to be the Jets for me too. You getting Aaron Rodgers back. You're definitely looking forward to that as the Jets. Now I'm not looking forward to Hackett and Salah being back, but with that alone, that's the reason for me. Go ahead, Kurt.
Kenny, Eddie's saying some nights you guys need to consider 1.5 to 2 hours episode. Kurt didn't even get to his Knicks. We're gonna get to that tomorrow night, though, right, Kenny? We're gonna do
we'll do a little Knicks thing tomorrow night, Ed.
9 o'clock.
We'll figure things out. I mean, if you guys want us an 1.5 hours, we might have to hire some new people or just split us up, and We'll go on. Kurt and I will go on at 6, and Paul and Scoops can go on at 7, and Carson and Clams can go on at 8.
Right.
Just we'll have a 24-hour network. We'll have a 24-hour network.
Yeah.
Like the fan.
Exactly.
Kurt, I'm going to give you this one. I'll give you and Scoops this one. Would you rather be the Kansas City Chiefs or the AFC West to win the West in 2024?
You mean you're giving me the other 3 teams?
Yep. Now, this is without Russell Wilson as quarterback. Now, this is with the don't know who the coach is for Chargers, and this is the Raiders situation.
Yeah, I'm still going to take those 3 teams. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are in major trouble. Again, you got a tight end who's in love, that losing his legs. He's wobbling around there. He can't get down the field. They have no. I'm sorry.
Wait.
3.
Guys, you know what Mickey used to say to Rocky? Women weaken legs. So
okay, let me get to before I get yelled at. Comment from Joey Clams. Don't have a great defense, the Jets. Last versus the run. 29th on 3rd down. Jets don't have a head coach. And then Jody saying Chargers because Harbaugh is going there. I'm taking those 3 teams, Kenny.
Let Scoops go, and then Paul and I, we can answer rapid fire, but let me get Scoops, and then Paul and I will answer just yes, or we'll take who we like.
Yeah, no, the Chiefs have been, on a decline, and I think that, like I said, I think Harbaugh is going to one of either the Chargers or the Raiders. I think too much is lining up. The Broncos, you never know with them, so I think that I'm going to take the field on this one.
I'm going to take the field, though, too, Kurt, because you're getting 3-1, and you never know what you're going to get in Denver. If you get your wish and Brady comes, I'll take it. I'll take the odds. Herbert, I think they'll bounce back. And Pierce is doing a great job with the Raiders. So 3 teams that are kind of doing better than 1 team that's dropping. Paul, you with us? The field or the Chiefs?
No, the Chiefs stands alone. I'm going with the Chiefs. Listen. Yeah, had they been in decline, but they just need a couple of new receivers. I think I don't know who's the quarterback for the Broncos will be, number one. I don't know who the coach will be for the Raiders and for the Chargers. I don't know who the quarterback will be for the Raiders. Herbert's coming back from an injury, so give me the Chiefs.
Okay, and then our last one to wrap up the show, because Kurt's got, for those who don't know, Kurt, 10 o'clock, let's talk Broncos. He's got a special guest from Denver coming on. So we're going to wrap this show up and let Kurt get ready for his next one. Hopefully he's not shade of red. Hopefully he's back to his normal shade. But last one, I'll let Paul go last on this one, but it's the AFC East. Kurt, would you rather have the Bills or Dolphins week 18?
If I could have the Bills with Joe Brady, right? He's the new offensive coordinator.
No, this week coming up. It's not next year. It's different. Who wins this game? Who would you rather have, the Bills or the Dolphins this week? That's a different question.
Just for this week, I'm going to go Dolphins. Just for this week. But very 51-49%.
Okay. Scoops.
Can you please repeat the question? It chopped out.
Yeah, the Bills or Dolphins week 18. Who would you rather have?
I'd rather have who would I rather be or who would I rather face?
Who's going to, pretty much who's going to win? So who would you rather have, the Bills or the Dolphins?
Dolphins.
I'm going to disagree with you guys. I'm going to take the Bills. I saw them get exposed last week. Bills are hot. I'm going to take the Bills in this one. And Paul wanted to talk about this game, so let's let Paul get his words in, and then we'll get our closing comments in.
Yeah. I said last week when we were talking about who's going to win divisions, I said, you know what? The AFC East is not a slam dunk for the Dolphins because of the schedule. And we saw what happened to the Dolphins on Sunday against the Ravens. And the Bills obviously had a little more difficult time with New England than anyone expected. But Bills are going to go down there. They should have good weather. I know Josh Allen is a little banged up right now, but so is everybody else. I think the Bills, like Kenny said, I think the Bills are going to go down there and take care of business and wind up getting the second seed and beating the Dolphins down there. And Dolphins are going to drop down to the 6th seed. So I'm going with the Bills like Kenny.
Kenny, couple comments. Eddie saying, Kurt, we got to start on Twitter to get you Elway or Manning on your 10 p.m. show. LOL. Jody saying Bills because Chubb is out. Our good friend Michael Ronquillo. Bills, he's taking the Bills. Jody saying Waddle is hurt as well. Daniel, David Burns watching from Cedar Hills, Texas. What's up, David? Thank you for watching.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
watching,
David.
guys. And for those Bronco fans, Michael, I believe David is 1-2. Kurt is going to be coming on in roughly 45 minutes
with a special,
very special Bronco guest tonight. So you guys definitely tune into that if you can.
A lot of Russ talk tonight, Kenny. A lot of Russ talk.
Should be a great show. But unfortunately, that's going to mean our show has come to an end tonight, fellas. It's been a fun, fired up, open agenda type show, to say the least. For those who've just coming on, we had a 50 Shades of Red segment with Kurt's shade of red, and all the excitement and different colors of Crayola crayons. Go back and watch that. It's pretty fun. And just getting Kurt all wound up is always fun as well.
Michael said he's going to be there tonight. Thank you, Michael. Eddie's saying Moneyball is on AMC.
Such a good movie. One of my favorite movies.
We'll have to do off season maybe I'll go on with Scoops, Paul. Anyone who's interested, we could do a little sports movie.
That would be fun.
100% factual or no?
Say that again, Kurt.
Is that 100% factual, or is there a little like?
It's very close, and the changes are mostly because Paul DePodesta didn't want his name in there, so things are and some things are changed a little bit for film effect. But I would say, from someone who's watched it a lot and read the book, I would say it's about 90% accurate.
Dave is saying it's going to be Ravens and Niners in the Super Bowl. Looks like that right now.
That's the favorite. Yeah,
looks
that's the
like
favorite
that right now. Looks like that right now.
All right, Kurt, why don't we do final thoughts so we can get you set up for your Broncos show tonight?
All right, I'll start, guys. I don't know what got in. I was wired up tonight.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know, man.
I'm going to put it on the
fires me
screen
up,
for
but
the
Scoops
audience.
had nothing to do with firing me up tonight. I don't know, but maybe it's just this Russ and Peyton talk that at 10 o'clock I'm going to be wired. But hey, we're going to talk. David saying just watching Killers of the Flower Moon starring Leonardo DiCaprio. There it is. Tomorrow night, real quick. I know Kenny, Paul, you guys are doing a giant show. 7, Mike? Is it 7?
Yes, sir. 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
So 7 o'clock, and then Kenny, you and I are going to do a little Knicks show at 9. So Eddie, tune in. We're going to talk Knicks, the big trade with the Knicks in Toronto did. But hey, enjoy it. I'm ready to talk Broncos in 45 minutes. But enjoy everything going on. Happy New Year. Thank you, everybody. Mr. Scoops.
Yep. Happy New Year. Kurt, I got to ask you a question later on your show, so be ready for that.
Okay, you got it.
But, guys, Happy New Year. As was just said, I want to say something real quick. I just want to say thank you again to everybody who came out on Saturday. I had more people on that show than I've ever had, and I'm very grateful for that. So I want to just say thank you, guys, and thank you to Kurt, Kenny, and everybody who's helped me get that off the ground. I can't see much worse from Philadelphia than I saw the other day. So hopefully the regular season ends on a little bit better note. I will not be on air this weekend because of my trip, but I'll see y'all again next week to hopefully recap a better week in sports.
Eddie's saying Kurt might fall asleep before his show. LOL. Dave is saying Happy New Year. Eddie's saying you guys need music as your show ends. Yes, we do. We could do that.
Yeah.
We'll get that done.
Your brother-in-law Paul's a musician. We should get Paul's band.
You know what? I could definitely. You know what, Kenny? Hold on. We have a second.
Yeah.
Give me a topic real quick. New Year, chill, down tempo, chill hop, hip hop, lounge. I don't know what some of these things mean. R&B, minimal house, future pop, classical. Just throw one out there, Kenny.
Do classical. Give us classical.
Listen. Let's see.
Here, we keep that in the background.
Final thoughts. Let's hear it. Go ahead, Mr. Rosen. Final thoughts. Classical.
Great show, guys. Happy New Year again, everybody. I love it when Kurt has a fire in his belly. Fun show tonight again. And hey, always good to be with you guys. Don't forget, tomorrow, guys, Kenny and I are doing our Giant show, 7 p.m., sort of a wrap-up of the season. And look forward to anybody joining us tomorrow night at 7.
Paul, you sound good with this music.
Music is Eddie.
Yes.
Eddie gets the.
Yeah, that's
You
it.
know,
I don't know.
good-
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if Eddie hears it. People gotta let us know because I hear it, but I don't know.
I
if
hear it.
Yeah, I hear it.
Eddie's calling for Bon Jovi, which I actually
Yeah.
understand. It's 9:20. I'm about to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I wish we could, Ed. I wish
Copyright.
we could. There's so many copyright laws.
Yeah.
All joking aside, that we can't do music like we know. So it's
Eddie
got to be something
saying he
that's not
can't hear
copyright.
it. Let's just be quiet and see if the music comes.
I hear it.
Oh,
Eddie, tell me if you hear it now.
All right. While we're waiting for Eddie,
Final
Wait.
thoughts, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
no. One thing we didn't mention: we got some new social media. We got Twitch and Kick. Please check us out on that.
Yes,
If
we're
you're not
live
on the other
Twitch and Kick
medias,
right
let
now.
it- Eddie's saying he's falling asleep.
Same with me.
We got other ones, Ed. We'll work on it. Hey, it's a project, okay? But no, great show, guys. Awesome agenda. Happy New Year to everybody. Little preview for our Knicks show tomorrow. Kurt will be previewing the nap cap. We all know you got the groundhog, right? That sees his shadow. Well, we got Bella, Kurt and Jen and Kurt's dog has got a Knicks nap cap. Thanks from a little Secret Santa. Kenny.
I can post that video.
Nick's nap cap. She went into bed. She approves of the trade, and she thinks there'll be more trades. If she didn't go in the bed, we were done this year. So go Knicks. I think there's more trades to come. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And good night, everybody. And check out Kurt at 10 p.m. tonight.
Have a good night.